Well, hey everyone, I'm Dr. Nancy Stanley, physical therapist, life and health coach, and I don't know when I have been as excited about a cooking demo. Something new that I've never tried, and everybody else in the keto world is doing them like crazy, but I just never did get around to it. I think probably because it felt like that it might bring me down a slippery slope back to the bread thing. And because bread and peanut butter was my thing, all right? And so, but when I decided, well, some friends of mine, new friends, Sarah and David and Liddell and Larry, I was over visiting with them, doing an interview with them, and they told me about having hamburgers on Chaffles. And I'm like, okay, well, one of the things I do miss, I love holding a hamburger and biting it. And I've tried the lettuce thing and all that, and we make the hamburger bowls, but it's just not quite the same, is it? No, it's not for me anyway. So I thought, well, if they liked it, they're good old country folks like me. If they liked it, then maybe we'll like it. So I got the recipe from Liddell, and I am going to put the recipe in an email. So if I don't have your email, if you're not getting my email, then you need to message me your email so I can add you to it. But I'm going to do 3 different recipes of chaffles. And the reason is because, you know, people do chaffles like waffles for a sweet, for like a breakfast thing. So that's the first one I did. And I went ahead and mixed it up and cooked it just so I could have one of them cooked. And I'm going to tell you the amount of carbs in it because that's something you really need to know. Because remember, if you eat more than your body can use, especially sugar, when I say sugar, I mean carbs, then it stores it as fat. And here's what I love to say. It's kind of like if Amazon delivered toilet paper to my house every day, a case of toilet paper. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Gail. Thank y'all for joining me. If they delivered that every day to my house, I'd have a problem. I mean, eventually, I'd have to figure out where to store this extra toilet paper. And that's the same thing with your eating. If you're eating more in a day than your body can use, then it will store it as fat. That's just what our body does. Just think about a bear. They store up for the winter, and then all winter they don't eat while they're in hibernation, and then they come out and they're skinny. And that's what happens with people that join my challenge. They actually learn what to do, exactly what to eat, the amount that you need to eat to fuel your body for performance. And at 65 years old, I feel so good. I get up every morning with amazing energy, and it's because I don't have fat stored on my body. Not much. I do have some, and I want to have some. But, you know, what I was carrying around, that extra 30 pounds, what a burden it was to me. I love to jog a little bit. I don't do that so much anymore, but I love to work in the yard. I love to hike. I love to do those things. But when you're think about carrying a 30-pound baby on a hike. I mean, it's tough. Okay. Well, and before I get any further, I got to show you my flowers. I went out in the yard and I picked some flowers. They don't match. I know there are a lot of different colors, but this little yellow thing grows in my pond, and I have to actually get out in the water to get it. I could only get to 2. This is a cherry blossom. Love those. This is an iris, a long-lost lone iris that popped up in a flower bed. And, of course, these are azaleas, and then this is a foxtail fern. I love to bring flowers in the house to brighten up the day. So if you don't do that, I would encourage you to do that. My daughters both love flowers, and I think it's because, you know, my grandma did it, my mama did it, I did it, and now they do it. So I love my flowers. Okay. All right. Now, I do have a special something here today. This is my lettuce that I picked out of my garden. I'm growing a garden this year, first time ever, and I've grown a few things in flower pots, but never had a garden. I've got it out there in the dog pen. Maybe I'll do a video on that later, but to keep the deer out. All right, so what we're going to do, and I'm going to tell you about this first chaffle that I made. Well, I tell you what, let me go ahead and make up this one so that you can kind of see how it works. All right, so what I've got here is 1 egg, and you got to be sure that you're using organic free-range eggs. I mean, look at that egg. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can see it without me dumping it out. It stands up on its own. Maybe that one's better. Anyway, it's bright orange. It's not, I mean, you'll see the difference. And more than that, you will taste the difference. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to beat up this egg. All right, so it's just 1 egg. So this actually makes 3 chaffles. So if you want to make 6, of course, you'll have to double the recipe. And that's what I did last night for our burger, so that's what I'm going to show you. All right, so that's 1 egg, and I'm putting 1/2 cup of finely shredded mozzarella cheese, and I'm just going to stir that in. Now, the reason I say I'm doing 3 different recipes, so the flour that you use can be different, all right? So this is finely sifted almond flour, okay? You can buy this at Walmart, but you want to get the finely sifted and the one without the shells, and you'll be able to see that. So that's a heaping tablespoon. All right, I'm going to dump that over in there. All right, and I'm going to, now this recipe is to make like a hamburger bun, okay? All right, so that's what this is. As you can see, this is a little bit of what was left last night. So there you go. All right, and then I'm going to put some cracked pepper. Here we go. Not much. And then a little, just a skosh, as my friend Mary Woodruff says. I'm just going to pinch out a little bit. Mary taught me that word, skosh. Just a skosh. And then just a shake of onion powder. Just a shake. A little skosh of all that. All right, and then a little bit of salt. Now, you don't need much salt, and the reason is because your cheese is going to be salty, and you're also going to use some cheddar cheese. All right, so I've got my little, I don't even know what you call this thing. It's called a dash. I think it was $10. I think I picked it up. I don't know if I got it on Amazon or where. Now, the first time I used it, I sprayed with this organic olive oil, but you might not even have to do that because cheese has a lot of oil in it. All right, and this is finely shredded cheddar cheese. I like sharp cheddar, but you might want to get mild cheddar for your hamburger bun. All right, so I'm going to just sprinkle a tablespoon over the dash here, okay? And then I'm going to just spoon out. Let me just make sure I got everything in here. I do. And then I'm just going to spoon out just enough to barely cover the bottom, okay? Just enough to barely cover the bottom. Now, you don't want holes in it because for a hamburger bun, it might not work, you know, to put your mayonnaise and ketchup and all that. And then I'm just going to close it up. And you're going to see it start to smoke and cook. All right, so this is the one that's like a breakfast waffle, okay? And so I used the mozzarella cheese on the bottom instead of the cheddar because I didn't want it to have that cheesy taste, although it does have a little bit of cheesy taste. And I used cassava flour with this one. Now, cassava flour is made from a root, okay, but it is not a grain. So that's what we're trying to get away from is the gluten and the grain. All right, so there you go. So the recipe's the same, you just use cassava flour. And I even added a little bit of monk fruit to this. Where is that? I don't even know what I did with it. But anyway, I added about a teaspoon of monk fruit to make the batter a little bit sweet, okay? So I wouldn't need as much syrup. Now what I did, what you're seeing in this little container here is 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup. And that is what I call an optimal sweetener. It doesn't have any toxins in it like artificial sweeteners and I just love the taste of it. So that's a tablespoon of butter and 2 tablespoons of syrup. But honestly, I only used like a teaspoon of syrup on that one chaffle, and it was perfectly fine. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take it up, and it's so yummy. They're just soft and pretty. And then as you let them, I'd probably put it over on a paper towel just because they are kind of greasy because you've got, or oily, maybe that's a better word to say, because you've got, you know, a lot of cheese that has oil in it. All right, so I'm going to do another one now. They're just quick and easy to make. I'm going to sprinkle the cheese on the bottom. All right, I'm going to do another one of these while I mix up this other batter. So you see I've got enough for 3 out of this one batter. Don't you love my little cups? a little pouring things. A friend gave me these, and I had not used them really very much, and I thought this would be a great thing to do that. All right, so I'm going to do this second batter, and so I put the, all right, so I had, well, actually, I'm sorry, I messed up. I told you the wrong thing. That first flour was sunflower flour, and it's just made out of sunflower seeds. You can make your own, or you can buy it. It's kind of expensive, but it's sunflower seed flour, and I love it. It doesn't have a taste as much, and it has a little different, more powdery texture than the almond flour. So that's what this was, and you see it turn green. So, but you know, you can't really see it in the chaffle. All right, so there's my egg. Here's my almond flour this time. I'm going to put a little bit, remember now, this is for a hamburger bun, a little bit of roasted garlic flakes, a little bit of onion powder, and a little bit of salt. And you don't have to put pepper if you don't want it, but I'm just going to put one little shake of it. All right, this is already ready. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to bring this up. Well, not quite. I'm going to let it go a minute more. I just kind of like for it to be. And then I'm dumping in my mozzarella cheese. Okay, and I'm going to stir this up. So this is going to be, so I will be able to make, let's see, 6 chaffles. So that's enough for 3 people, a hamburger bun, okay? And we really enjoyed it last night. So what I'm trying to do is get a couple here made up so I can show you how we did our hamburger. All right, so there's that. All right, this one should be ready now. I like them kind of brown, but I certainly don't like them burnt. So there we go. Look at that, how pretty that is. And I'm going to let those cool over there because I'm going to put them on a hamburger in just a minute. Now, here we go again. You could use either of these cheeses. You could use the mozzarella if maybe somebody doesn't like such a cheesy taste. And then I'm gonna put this one in. So again, just a little, just enough to cover the bottom. Because remember, it's got egg in it. That's gonna kind of be your leavening. So it's gonna rise up. And there we go. I think I'll grab a paper towel to put these 2 on while I make them up into a hamburger. Okay, so here's my hamburger. Well, you know what I didn't do? I didn't get the mayonnaise and all that out. But what you would do, you would make your hamburger just like you normally would with your mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, whatever. And then you're going to put your hamburger on here. And you're going to put your, you're going to put a little onion, whatever you like on them, you know. I love mayonnaise and mustard and ketchup. I like the works. Pickles. I really like to use those longer sliced pickles. And then this wasn't the best tomato in the world. I'm looking forward to going up to Toombs County Farmers Market and getting me a good tomato. Put the lettuce on. I put the cheesy part on the outside. And look at that. How amazing is that? I would buy it, but I'm not ready to eat yet. But anyway, how amazing is that? So here we go. This one is already ready. And as you can see, it's really, really pretty. I'm going to dump it right over here. I could have let that one go just a little bit more. I'm going to put some more cheese on the bottom. And see how quickly I made these up? So my grandchildren are coming this weekend, and I am looking forward to making chaffles. Now, you could add blueberries. You could add whatever you want to add. You could add nuts. You can add bananas. Whatever you want to add to your chaffle. Just do it. Now, if you got a big bunch to cook for, I thought about maybe going and getting another one of these. Because, I mean, it doesn't take a real long time, but it does take some time. So hang on just a minute and let me... okay, so got that ready to go. Let me just present this over here. All right, so there you go. So last night we had that, and as you saw in my post, we had a wedge, which was delicious. My daughter made homemade blue cheese dressing, and it was really, really good. All right, so here we go. I'm going to pop this. That one's maybe needs to go just a little bit more. Okay, these little ramekins that you can buy, they're like a half a cup, and then the big one is a whole cup, so that's kind of, so just remember now, I got to have your email. Now, the recipe that Liddell gave me called for everything but the bagel seasoning in it, and I didn't have any of that, but I found out what's in that, so I'm going to add that recipe as well to the recipe. Excuse me, to the recipe. So don't hesitate to make sure, and I'm going to be sending that out. It'll come out in the morning at 7 o'clock. That's when my emails go out. So unless you're just dying to get it before then, maybe you got an event or something, I don't know. But so here we go. You see how quick and easy this is? I could use my little spatula. And this is my last one out of here. So I made 3 out of each recipe. So here we go. Now, I will tell you, it's a little eggy. I mean, you know, but that's kind of what waffles are, is they're eggy. And I got one more I can make out of the sunflower flour. And I'm kind of getting a mix. I think I got the sunflower flour on that one. But anyway, okay. So I've got about 70 people in 2 different challenges going on right now. And every day I'm getting a text. I got a text from somebody this morning that said, oh my gosh, I've lost 22 pounds. I'm so excited. I've been trying to lose 5-10 pounds for 15 years and I would gain it back. I'm like, well, once you learn how to fuel your body properly, then your body will perform and you'll begin to shred the fat that you stored. So that's what I want to teach you. I want to teach you how to do that. So don't forget to leave your email. Please comment, share this video. I'm going to be kicking off another challenge here in about, well, I'm not sure the date yet, but I'll let you know. So stay tuned because I'm going to be doing a good bit of teaching on insulin, on vitamin D, on glutathione, on melatonin, and just a lot of things that you need to know about. So we need to be educated because, you know, it's what we don't know that hurts us. It really is what we don't know. Just like I didn't know how to make chaffles. I mean, and I just said, okay, I'm going to try that. And you know what? It's easy. Look how easy this is. I don't even know why I hadn't done it. I really do think it was because I was afraid I would slip into that slippery slope of bread again. And, you know, bread. And this is, you know, the keto breads that you buy, they have so many artificial flavors in them, things you really don't want to have. And I just love it. And I got a big mess here. But I can clean it up in a hurry. And we're going to probably have a hamburger a little bit later with a bun. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Hey, Vicki. Thank you for joining me. Share the video. Remember, hit that little arrow thing that goes forward because there are people out there literally that are dying to have the right information about what to eat. So y'all have a great day and let's talk soon.